One able. If you fit me with jets, I might stand a chance. Over.
One able. Remarkable lack of opposition, Foggy. Jerry seems to be pulling out faster than we're following up. Keep your eyes skinned. Over. Canvas right. What's the matter, Foggy?
They got me, pal. In the rear by the sound of it.
Well, you better trundle back to base. Take the by road there. It's bound to lead you back.
What about you?
I'll carry on to the river.
Alone?
Well, it's not far.
The water pump's gone, sir. Oh, is that all?
I think so.
Then I'll stagger along behind.
You heard what I said, Sergeant?
Yes, sir.
And tell Cartwright to keep a bottle of whatever's going.
Righto, Up the Navy.
One bridge, unbombed, unblemished, and unblown.
But is it unmined?
We've got to find out, Price. Keep going, Jackson. Halt. Flag Day in Aberdeen.
I wonder.
So do I.
The orders were to Rake as far as the river, sir.
Precious little to report back unless we can tell them it's not mine.
Still less if it is. How about a bit of luck, sir? We may need it.
Okay, Jackson, over we go.
My landlady said she actually got some fish yesterday without having to queue for it.
She must know where the body's buried.
Well, I've tried everything. I've leered at my fishmonger. I wag on the hips like Betty Grable. I practically flung myself at him. And all I got was a bit of Icelandic cod. What's up?
Would you mind if I looked at your paper for a minute?
What? Oh, sure. Hurry up, Elsie, or we'll never get a seat. Okie doke. Keep it if you like. Hurry up, Jennifer, or you'll miss your bus.
Vivian, can't believe it. He'll turn up again, just as he always used to, when you least expected it, like a bad penny. Not that he was really bad, only... Why am I making excuses for him? He certainly never bothered to himself. The truth is, people are what they are. There's nothing very much you can do about it. We're made mostly by what we inherit and the circumstances around us from the cradle onwards. That's how it was with Vivian.
Gangway. Gangway for the rising generation. There you are, sonny boy. Say good evening to the ladies and gents.
Good evening.
We've been seeing the sights. Found him wandering about in the crowds in Piccadilly. Like this. Told me he'd sneaked out of bed to join in the fun.
Why not? Yes. What's he doing here? He's underage.
Oh, get along with you. Well, what'd you say to a nice frothy ginger pop, eh?
I'd say yes, please.
Well, ginger pop from a pal and pint of swipes for me.
You would have the coppers after us.
The copper's got something better to do tonight.
You're a card, you are. What's your name?
Vivian Kenway.
Does your dad know you're out?
I hope not.
Vincent.
All right.
You.
Here you are, Sonny Jim.
Thanks, oh.
Well, he's back to civvies in the good old days.
Here, here.
I expect you'll still be at school.
Of course. I'm going to Eton later on.
Eton? Oh, I say. Eton's no joking matter, Cock. Half the war cabinet came from there.
Well, they won the war for us, you know.
Now, I'll tell you what's down there for you, if you like. Me, and him, the common fighting man. The most long-suffering blooming animal in human creation. Forgotten in peacetime. A human target in wartime. And bewitched and bewildered all the time. Oh, well, here's to the common British fighting man, me.
Here, here.
You know, I'm not a sentimental bloke, but it does my heart good to see you sitting up there all happy and cheerful and know it's all over before it could get to you. Right, mate?
Right. When I look at him, what do I see? I see a young man of the future. A future all bright and shiny with peace and plenty. And a place for one and all.
Here's a souvenir for you, boy. And when you're up at Oxford or somewhere, studying hard to be Prime Minister, remember us blokes with our little plots of land and the cottage and the cow that old Lloyd George has promised us.
Thank you very much.
Here's to young hopeful. Young hopeful.
Here, here.
Fantastic effort, Viv. My turn to owe you a dinner now. I wonder if I'll get it. Poppy always pays, old boy, eventually.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kenway. You will be good enough to attend the senior proctor's office at 10 tomorrow morning. That is all for the moment.
I mean, however one looks at it, nobody can deny that since the national government balanced the budget, things are much more settled.
Yes, they are, aren't they?
Father says that if they return with a decent majority, it'll be a tonic for business. And of course the city will be delighted. But I'm boring you talking politics?
Oh, no, you're not. Not a bit, really.
Only, I mean, one can't make plans for the future when things are so uncertain.
What sort of plans, Sandy?
Well, Oh, all sorts of plans, you know.
Yes?
I wish you could have managed this evening.
So do I. Auntie would choose today to drop on Mother. It's too bad. Can't you go with someone else?
You know I wouldn't like that, Jill. Look, why don't you take your aunt along yourself?
Oh, no, really. It wouldn't be the same.
Oh, please, no, I got the tickets here somewhere. It's for the play at the Owls, Antony and Cleopatra, it is.
Duncan? I say, Duncan.
Here, you better take them anyway. Oh, hello.
It's Kenway again. He's been caught by the Dean climbing the memorial.
What? Yes, he'll get sent down for certain this time.
I shouldn't think there's a doubt. I thought you'd like to know.
Surely they can't send him down for that. Why, it's practically a local sport.
He's had 2 final warnings already. Well, I suppose I'd better get along and see the idiot. See you tomorrow, Jill.
Hello, Sandy. Did you have a drink?
Well, you've done it this time.
What? Oh, that.
You were absolutely certain to be caught. Why the blazes did you have to do it?
Bet with old Fogroy.
That's no reason. He won't even pay up.
Besides, until the crime's never been done in daylight before. I thought I got quite a kick out of that.
I don't understand you at all. I never feel the slightest urge to climb up every building I see.
Oh, Sandy. Those feet planted firmly on the ground.
It seems to me it's the natural place for feet.
In that case, perhaps you could lend me a quid.
I really don't see the connection.
You better make it 2, then.
That makes £4, 17 shillings and 6pence this week.
Right.
I say, Vivian, you're not going out.
Yes, I'm 10 minutes late already. Why?
I wanted to talk to you.
I'm sorry, I thought you had a date anyhow.
I was going to the Owls, but Jill couldn't manage it. Her aunt turned up or something.
Jill? Not the girl in a tea shop?
Yes, I didn't feel like going alone, so I gave her the tickets for Antony and Cleopatra.
Sandy, you're not smitten, are you?
Hmm?
I mean, you haven't fallen for her, have you?
No, of course not. What makes you think that?
Oh, nothing. I only just wondered. I'll see you later.
The barge she sat in, like a burnished throne, burned on the water. The poop was beaten gold, purple the sails, and so perfumed that the wines were lovesick with them. The oars were silver, which to the tune of flutes kept stroke, and made the water which they beat to follow faster, as amorous of their stroke.
I do wish you didn't have to go away.
Who told you I have to?
Oh, girl I know. She was telling me all about it in the tea shop this evening.
Oh, I see.
We're just ships that pass in the night, aren't we, Vivian?
Parking in a backwater.
I don't believe you care at all.
I'm broken-hearted.
I shall miss you anyway.
Oh, you still got Oxford?
What do you mean?
You know. Oh, Sandy? Oh, is anything...
I waited up because I wanted a word with you.
What about?
Don't pretend you don't know.
Hmm?
Surely you realize you're certain to be sent down tomorrow.
Oh, that. Who says so?
It's obvious.
Is it?
Of course.
Have a drink.
Have you any plans?
Nope.
I was wondering if my father could find you anything.
What's he in? Soap, isn't it?
Amongst other things.
Sound commodity and steady demand. I understand Washington's got an almost universal habit. They went.
Are you interested?
Well, morbidly.
Of course, if it amuses you to... When...
My dear Sandy, I haven't the slightest intention of getting sent down. I've talked myself out of it before. I shall talk myself out of it again.
Not this time.
I shall apologize with cheerful humility. At the same time reminding them of distinguished figures lost to Oxford through hasty action in the past. Shelley, Byron, for instance.
Shelley never climbed a building in his life, and Byron went to Cambridge.
Oh, did he? Well, you're worrying unnecessarily, Sandy. Now, take it from me, I shall have a personal triumph. After tomorrow, they'll be begging me to stay. I'll get someone to give you a hand with the trunk. Hyde? Hello, Hyde?
It's okay, sir. I can manage the rest.
Right, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Dad?
Conservative gain.
Good evening.
Hereford Division.
Is nobody at home?
No, Mr. King. Everyone's down at Crumpton with your father for the declaration of the post.
We haven't met before, have we?
No, there's a photo of you in Colonel Kenway's study and his secretary.
Really? I'm surprised.
Why?
Well, you ought to have seen your predecessor. This is a very happy development,
Calthrop. Jennifer Calthrop.
How do you do? Calthrop?
Now, here is the
Now, wait a
result
minute.
for Crumpton North.
Of course, you paid my bill.
Colonel R. Kenway, Conservative. Majority, 10,786.
You're a snake in the grass, Calthrop.
No
Father
change.
was re-elected, didn't you hear?
Yes, well, that's the safest Tory seat since Queen Anne died.
All the results that
You
have come in
paid
so
my
far.
bills.
Until we
Find
get
somebody did.
Yes, but you docked my allowance to do it.
With your father's approval.
We never thought of it single-handed.
I expect that's why he needed a secretary.
Is he coming back tonight?
Oh, yes. He didn't say he was expecting you.
No, he wouldn't be.
Suppose you've been sent down.
Well, how did you hear?
I didn't, but it was obviously only a question of time.
Well, me and the Dean, we didn't quite see eye to eye on a fundamental issue.
You mean he didn't consider you an asset to Oxford?
Yes, most unfortunate.
Quite. After all, you've only neglected your studies, accumulated debts, climbed all the principal buildings, and been progged in all the usual pubs. Your career has been almost tediously conventional.
I can see we're going to be great friends. That must be Dad.
But infiltrating.
It would be a national disaster if he did.
I know that voice.
You know you're not remotely interested in politics, Hubert. You're only interested in guzzling Robert's whiskey.
Equally interested in both, my dear, if I may say so. Why not? I'd bring something, Hubert.
Good gracious.
Vivian.
Hello, Dad.
This is a pleasant surprise, my boy. How are you? What are you doing in town, eh?
We haven't missed a celebration, Dad. Congratulations.
Well, you've heard. Isn't it splendid?
Yes, you deserve stronger opposition.
Well, young fellow, my lad, how's Oxford?
Flourishing, thank you, Uncle Hubert.
Grand.
How's dear Auntie?
Majority,
You look younger and more blooming every day.
No
I don't know how you do it.
Simple. I put it on in the morning and remove it at night.
Honorable Eustace Percy.
I suppose you've taken French leave.
Majority,
What if he has?
17,000.
Can't he show an interest in his father's career?
Yes, quite.
And while we're waiting for further results, here are the figures showing the present state of the parties. Conservative, 305. Labour, 49. Liberal, 56. National Labour, 8. Other parties, 7.
Complete landslide.
And while we're waiting for the next list,
Swept the country.
here is some more data.
Oh, Hyde. I wonder whether the governor give me a wink.
Very good, sir.
As Mr. Baldwin said, the nation's sound at heart.
You, of course, have your finger on the national pulse.
Painfully ignorant, actually, my dear.
Then why pontificate?
Something, really.
I honestly think today has saved the country from disaster. Now it's up to us to set the nation on its feet again. In my opinion... Mr. Vivian, sir. As I say, it's undoubtedly up to us to... forgive me a moment, will you? I want a word with Miss Calthorpe. You want me, Vivian?
Yes, Dad.
Well, my boy?
I'm finished now. Good night.
Good night, Jennifer. Daughter of a colleague of mine. Nice girl.
Yes?
Well?
I'm not going to like this, Dad.
Well, what's wrong?
I've left Oxford.
You've left?
Got the sack. Sent down.
Vivian, what happened? My boy, I do hope...
Oh, fooling about, climbing and so forth. Pretty hackneyed, I'm afraid.
Nothing else?
Nothing worse, if that's what you mean.
I see. It's a bit of a shock to me, Vivian. I look forward to you doing well there.
Oh, sorry, sir.
You'll miss your blue next season.
I know.
I was looking forward to that match. Oh, well. What are you going to do?
Get a job, I suppose.
Not exactly a good beginning, is it, being sent down?
No, naturally, there's that.
Mind you, there was my Uncle George. He was sent down.
That's why he went to South Africa, wasn't it?
Yes. Came back with a fortune.
Well, didn't seem to do him any harm.
Great character, Uncle George. I've often thought he must have been very like you. Harum scarum, but the right stuff in him. Oh, by the way, there's one thing, Vivian.
Aunt Angela.
Yes, she won't like it.
She'll blow up sky high.
Do we have to tell her?
Which is bound to find out sooner or later.
Well, I'd sooner it was later.
And altogether, this overwhelming victory must be regarded as a personal triumph for Mr. Ramsay MacDonald and Mr. Baldwin.
If she asks, you don't admit anything.
No.
I mean, don't say a word.
No, if I did, she'd raise Cain.
Yes.
And we'd never get to bed.
No. And in the morning, you'll slip down to the farm.
Oh, just the two of us.
Yes. And then we have the future fixed before the old bird finds out.
Before the old bird can find out what, may I ask? What have you got down so far, Hubert?
Oh. The church, the army, the navy, the law, medicine, politics, and commerce.
The churches are half empty, the services have been axed, barristers are 10 a penny, he'll never make a doctor. And one politician in the family is more than enough.
Can't we go into it all again sometime tomorrow? I've had a tiring day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the only career for which Vivian seems qualified is a steeplejack.
May sound a bit extravagant, but what about gold mining?
When we've only just come off the gold standard?
And yeah, that's the point. Now we're off it. The price of gold's going up like mad.
Why?
Why? What? Oh, I've no idea.
I'm a miner. 49 now.
Well, shall I put down gold mining?
No.
No?
No.
I'm not a miner. 49 now.
Uncle George managed to do pretty well in Africa.
Africa in those days was littered with diamonds. Any fool could pick 'em up, even Uncle George.
Well, South America. Still prospects there. Never forgotten my stay with Jack Brookley when I was Vivian's age.
Brookley?
Coffee.
Managing director of a company at Portibania. Fine plantation. Lovely climate. Wonderful club. Polo, cricket, swimming, tarpon fishing.
Yes, we are looking for a job, not a rest here. Besides, we want to keep an eye on him.
Well, then he could start at home on the farm. Learn to manage the estate. What's left of it?
Farming's gone to pot.
Well, now the new government's in, we're bound to set it up.
Whereupon an anguished howl will go up from Birmingham and it'll be knocked flat again. You could speak to old McKechnie, Hubert.
Which McKechnie?
Stuart McKechnie.
Whiskey chap.
Yes.
First-class idea. Whiskey. Yes, I'll put that down.
Hello? Can I speak to Sir John Brookley?
Brookley?
Vivian.
Well, put me through to his room. Colonel Kenway wants to speak to him urgently. Sir John? Just hold on, sir. Here you are, Dan. He sounds a bit tetchy. I think I must have woken him up. Any time tomorrow will suit me, Dan.
Hello, is that you, Jack? Bob Kenway here. How are you?
I'm sorry to wake you up at this hour, but I thought perhaps you could help me. It's about Vivian, my boy, you know.
No whiskey.
Follow me, please, Mr. Kenway.
I will, gladly.
Well, do sit down, Mr. Kenway. Make yourself comfortable. And how are things at home?
Might be worse, sir.
Thank you. I haven't taken a leave for a dickens of a time. Beastly thing, this depression. Can't last forever, that's one thing.
Let's hope not, sir.
Thank you. I put you out for the club, of course. You play bridge?
A little, sir.
Good. We know all about your cricket, of course. Sir John was most enthusiastic about it in his letter. I think you'll like it here, Kenway.
I'm sure I will, sir.
Now, don't be afraid to make any suggestions. We're always willing to listen.
Thank you.
You see, we've no one in your class with either bat or ball.
Yes, sir.
Come in, Edwards. This is Mr. Kenway. He's come out from home to join us.
How do you do? Pleased to meet you.
Edwards is on our administration staff. Mr. Kenway will start with you. Take him out right away, will you, and show him around the place?
Very good, sir.
Well, goodbye, Kenway. Come in and see me when you settle down.
Thanks, sir. I will. Ready?
Yes.
Kenway. So sorry, old boy.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Edwards.
This is Mr. Kenway, just come out from London. Mr. Bromhead, our scientist here.
How do you do, sir?
Well, young man, how are they all at home?
Oh, bearing up.
Well, how's the College of Science? Constipated as ever?
Well,
Haven't have a cigarette on you. I seem to have left mine on the breakfast table.
yes, rather.
Just showing him around the place before he starts work.
Yes, I'll take 2 or 3. Well, Kendall, this hovel is the hub of the whole plantation, in my opinion, but absolutely no one else's. You see, Kendall...
Kenway, sir?
Quite so. Amongst other things, our job is to make 4 coffee beans grow where only 3 grew before. You care to have a look?
Thanks so much.
The merest touch will adjust the focus.
My matches.
I gave them back to you. You have a pathetically small mind, Edwards. All right?
Yes.
No need to tell you what that is.
Kenway's a beginner.
Oh, I see. Well, it's an insect, of course.
I gather that.
New arrival thrives on coffee leaves, descended on us last year, and ate its way through nearly a fifth of the entire crop.
What, that little chap?
Yes, in spite of my somewhat limited resources, we're coping with it in a variety of ways, which I might summarize as, well, on the one hand, the importation of parasites, and on the other, the...
Sorry, old man, I've got to show Kenway around the plantation.
Must you?
Burgess's orders.
Typical. Absolutely typical. Well, look in again, Kennedy, and I'll explain my work to you.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much. Thanks for getting me out in time. What a funny old coot.
Bromhead's easily the best brain out here.
Not anything like the best paid, of course.
So naturally, you wouldn't have much time for him.
Maybe an underpaid old coot, and maybe an overpaid old coot. All I said was that he was an old coot.
Mean is, he doesn't wear the right tie.
I don't even think for his tie.
He doesn't drink with the right people, so of course he's a social outcast.
I suppose no one's liver is quite the same after a few years in this climate.
I beg your pardon. I've nothing against you personally, Kenway.
Oh, decent of you to say so.
It's just that you're the last straw, that's all. I'm sick and tired of teaching their jobs to gilded youths backed by influence and class privilege, and then watching them end up with better positions than my own.
There's always the cheering prospect that this gilded youth may turn out to be a complete flop.
Keep your eye on the ball. Never revoke at bridge. Believe me, you won't flop here.
I know it's a daring thought for anyone with my background, but I might actually work. Coffee. A drink made from seeds of a shrub roasted in the ground. Used in Abyssinia in the 15th century. Prohibited by the Quran as an intoxicating beverage. Yeah. Great deal to learn. It's far more interesting than I thought, especially your end of it.
I wish the company could see that. Hang it all, it's what we grow that counts. I could double our yield and save them thousands if they build me an up-to-date experimental station.
I suppose they say they can't afford it.
It'll pay for itself 3 times over in 10 years. Seems to have left my cigarettes in my other suit.
Have you ever given them the figure?
I'm not an accountant, my boy.
How much would it cost?
Goodness knows.
I wonder if you'll give me some rough details.
I suppose so. Why?
Well, I was thinking, couldn't we make out a case and put the whole thing before Burgess?
Burgess.
Well, he's bound to see it.
It's very kind of you, my boy.
Kind, nothing. It's purely self-advancement.
You know, I always find a whiskey and soda concentrates the mind wonderfully.
So do I.
Let's nip out and have a quick one, shall we?
Yes, take the case, sir.
It must have been burning the midnight oil, Kenway.
A bit. Do you like the idea, sir?
Oh, yes, I was very impressed. Most workmanlike. Congratulations.
Mind you, I'm not pretending it won't be expensive in the first place, but...
Yes, quite. By the way, we haven't seen you at the club much, have we?
No, sir.
You mustn't overdo things. One needs plenty of healthy exercise out here. I know Sir John was looking to you as a tower of strength on the cricket field.
Yes, but aren't you going ahead with the scheme, sir?
I'm afraid it's out of the question.
I proved it'll pay for itself.
On the basis of last year's prices. Last year, leaf bug ruined 1/5 of the crop. That sent the price up to a point where it paid. And come here a moment.
Yes, but surely disease can't really be profitable.
You see that smoke coming up from the valley?
Yes?
Do you know what that is?
No.
10,000 bags of this year's coffee burning. It's a new order from the government here. We're getting a subsidy of so much a ton on the quota we have to destroy.
But that's fantastic.
Well, these are difficult times. The price must be kept at an economic level.
And the leaf bug mayn't oblige every year.
Exactly. You'll see how it is.
Yes, I see.
Now, I'm going to England this week for consultation. Sir John will come back with me and see things for himself. Confidentially, there's bound to be a big economy wave. Oh, don't worry, they won't affect you.
Thank you, sir.
Not at all. Very good. And don't you want these?
Yes, I suppose I might as well.
Remember what I said? All work and no play. You know.
I'll remember.
Oh, you must polish up those late cuts of yours for Sir John.
Yes. Yes. Now, try that, Pedro.
Boss, that's terrific.
The applejack does the trick. Don't forget the nutmeg.
Mr. Kenway, I don't know how you think him up.
Hello? What are you doing in this den of vice? Somebody's birthday?
No. Large scotch, Pedro.
Make it 2, 3. What's all the jollity?
They've terminated his contract, that's all.
What? No.
Monsieur of profession, much regret, unable to prolong engagements. Best wishes for the future, they remain mine faithfully. I now propose to get supernaturally copied.
That's what you get for making 4 beans grow where only 3 grew before.
The first fruits of the visit of our illustrious managing director.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brom, really.
Well, I am too, if the truth be known. Thank you, Vivian.
Who wants a world of plenty when scarcity pays better?
God, it makes me sick.
Coming, Kenway? It's time we left, you know. We're meeting Sir John at 4.
I know.
Like a lift?
No, I got my own car, thanks. Shan't be long.
Oh, won't do to be late, old boy. See you there.
Here, Pedro. Let's have the same again.
Difficult times. One idea, of course, fills our working hours to the exclusion of almost everything else. Coffee.
China or Indian, Sir John?
China. Thank you. But before I go into that, I want to thank you all for the very warm welcome that you have extended to me. I thought perhaps you would like to come here like this for a little tea-time chat. After all, in an enterprise like ours, there is, in the natural course of things, bound to be far too little contact between the managing director and the staff. For myself, I just want to throw out a few thoughts that might occur to me. A thought here, a thought there. Some perhaps a trifle visionary. But nevertheless, thoughts. Unfortunately, we are in the throes of a depression.
I'm afraid I'm late. Sorry.
Mr. Kenway, Sir John.
Oh, the cricketer. How are you, Mr. Kenway?
Not out, sir.
Where was I?
In the throes of a depression, sir.
Oh, yes. Sit there. Thank you. We have been forced, unfortunately, to make certain cuts. I have taken one myself. However, I feel quite sure that the economies have been effected without seriously impairing our efficiency. And indeed...
What about Bromhead?
Oh, what?
The scientist here, you remember, sir?
Oh, yes, I remember quite. As I was saying, painful decisions had to be made, and we did what seemed to be best. What I personally am quite certain was best.
Yeah.
To resume, we find ourselves just now face to face with a problem for which, in my opinion, there is only one solution.
Sack Bromhead.
I am not interested in discussing Bromhead any further in any shape or form. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir. Kindly refrain from interrupting, Sir John Kenway. Yes, sir.
The unfortunate truth is that today we grow more coffee than people will drink. How are we to remedy that?
May I make a suggestion?
No. By salesmanship, marketing. But if we look at our fellow countrymen, what do we find? Their staple beverage is what? Coffee? No.
Beer?
Tea. That is the manners, gentlemen. Tea. The average Englishman has increased his consumption to no less than 6 cups of tea per day. What conclusions can we draw from that?
We're in the wrong business. Out. Just a second, I'll get someone to help you in with the luggage. Hello, Hyde. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, sir.
Will you give the man a hand in with the bag?
Certainly, sir.
Hello there.
Hello.
How's Calthrop?
All right, thanks.
It's obviously your mission in life to greet me on the morrow of disaster.
And yours to supply the disaster.
Yes, well, we'll skip that. Is the governor all right?
He's upset, naturally.
Is he here?
In the lounge with your aunt.
I wonder what's cooking.
Not the fetid calf, I'm afraid.
What have we got done so far, Hubert?
Steel, banking, or the civil service?
Steel's in the dumps. We're disarming like mad. Vivian would break any bank. And as for the civil service...
No?
No.
Oh.
After having been kicked out of Oxford as an utterly hopeless case, you proceed to reward your father's old friend, the very man who got you the job, by blackguarding him like a fish porter in a bout of maudlin drunkenness.
After which I sang the Internationale in an abandoned manner and was sick on the carpet. Twice.
What are you sniggering at, Hubert?
Emilia, I didn't make a murmur.
Hubert, you're a liar.
Saves an awful lot of trouble sometimes.
Vivian's obviously not fit for civilized society. Can't you get him into the city, Robert?
Somehow I can't see him as a stockbroker.
True. He'd be running a bucket shop before you could say knife.
I don't think you're quite fair, Angela. I'm sure the lad's sound at heart.
I've been fatuously indulgent, and you've been a perfect fool. This time he really must settle down to earn a living.
Well, I'm aware of that, but, well, there is the question of what Vivian wants to do.
I'm sure Aunt Angela considers that wildly irrelevant.
I should be surprised if he's the slightest notion of what he wants to do, other than nothing.
What do you want, Vivian?
I don't know.
There you are, you see.
Because I don't know, I'm not going to be pitchforked into any job chosen by sticking a pin in a commercial directory with your eyes shut.
This time you'll do as you're instructed, or lose your allowance. With things as they are, your father can't possibly afford to keep you in idleness.
Blackmail, Auntie? Tut, tut. Haven't you forgotten something?
What?
Uncle George.
He's been 20 years in his grave.
As his cash goes marching on.
You can't touch that money for another year.
I could borrow on it tomorrow.
Ridiculous, Vivian. kindly be sensible and we'll resume our discussion as to your future.
I'm surprised at you, Aunt Angela. Millions of unemployed, and you want to get some poor blighter sack to make room for me?
Will you ask Vivian to be sensible, Robert?
Dad and I'll have a private talk later.
Do you think you can get rid of me as easily as that?
Oh, no, no. It's always hard work.
Robert. This is too much. Hubert.
Yes, dear?
We're going.
What, now?
Yes, before I have apoplexy. We're wasting our time here.
Pity. Never seem to knock up scores like that on my own board.
I feel deeply sorry for you, Robert. When in a misguided moment you spawned that millstone round your neck, you little knew what a rod you were pickling for your own back.
Seems we're toddling. Toodaloo.
Before embarking on a strenuous business career, it seemed to Vivian only sensible to explore the ground thoroughly first. And of course, to do that, you had to have the right equipment. Kenway at Wimbledon? Kenway at Monte Carlo? Kenway at St. Moritz? Kenway at the Derby? Kenway broke. And finally, a much misunderstood man, Kenway in jail.
The police surgeon was not prepared to swear that Kenway was definitely drunk. A tribute both to his fair-mindedness and to the alcoholic capacity of the defendant. Woodbury, I shall fine you £25 with costs for 1 month, and your license will be suspended for 2 years. Fogroy will pay 3 guineas costs, and Kenway, I shall fine you £10 in costs, which will include the price of 1 regulation Metropolitan Police helmet.
Yes, sir.
Pay your fines in the jailer's office.
Keep it the price if you ask me.
William Hartleby.
Do you think they'll take something on account? Not from you, would it? Pay the lot or in you go.
I can't rake up more than £8.
If I were you, I should do the month. They say it's an experience everyone ought to have.
But, Vivian, I couldn't go to quad.
Send you a rope ladder and a bottle of scotch.
I know the governor won't cough up. He's raving mad already about what's happened to his car.
Pay mine as well, will you? Go on.
Vivian, I couldn't possibly. Well, I'm hanged if I know when I can pay it back.
Mere detail. Go on.
Thanks a lot.
That was the last of the Americans, wasn't it, Vivian?
Sandy, what on earth are you doing here? Are you,
Good heavens, no. I read about your arrest in the paper. I happened to be round this way and, well, I thought I'd drop in.
Where have you been all these years?
London. I rang you when you first came home, but you never called me back.
Well, I've been pretty busy.
Apparently.
Well, let's have a drink. Is it opening time yet?
Practically. Look, Vivian, why don't you come home and have dinner with me? Unless, of course, you're doing anything else.
Invitation is accepted.
Good.
Let's get away from all these police.
Yes. What are your plans, Vivian?
I'm afraid there's nothing else for it but to work.
I thought I might fix up something for you in my business, if you're interested.
You know how I feel about soap.
Soap? That's only a sideline. Dad bought a chemical factory before he died. I'm on the board.
Oh, big stuff. How do I come in?
I'll have to consider that.
You might travel for us eventually.
What do you mean? Good morning, madam. Can I interest you in our chemical buckets?
We don't make those on that.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mrs. Stevens. Did you give Mrs. Duncan my message?
Yes, sir.
Blackshaw still here?
He's in the garage.
Oh, get Mr. Kenway's luggage, will you? He's staying here the night.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Vivian. I expect there's still time for a cocktail. Hello, dear. Everything under control?
Hello, Sandy.
Oh, Alice, this is Vivian Kenway, a very old friend of mine.
How do you do?
Give Vivian a drink, will you? I'm just going to have a word with Blackshaw about the car. Shan't be a minute on that.
Right.
What would you like, Mr. Kenway?
Gin and French?
Gin French.
Very attractive here. I like it.
I'm so glad. Yes, it is a nice house.
Exactly what I imagined. Everything. Congratulations. You're very lucky, Mrs. Duncan.
What? Oh, I see.
What?
It's Sandy's fault for not introducing us properly. I'm afraid I'm only his sister.
Oh, I see.
Alice, was that Sandy?
Yes, dear.
Oh, I thought I heard the car. Oh.
Yes, that's right. It was
Jill.
just...
But of course. I remember. You're Vivian, aren't you?
Well, you know each other.
Yes, we met at Oxford.
Oh, a long time ago.
Well, just fancy that. Well...
Sorry about that. Hello, darling. Afraid we're late. I hope it hasn't put you out.
Sandy, why didn't you tell me it was Mr. Kenway you were bringing home to dinner?
Oh, didn't I? Sorry, darling. But of course you remember old Vivian.
Oh, yes, of course.
Very flattering to be remembered out of all those faces.
I think we better go into dinner.
Yes, we are a bit late. Come along, Vivian.
Right.
What a small world it is.
Yes, indeed.
He got to the top of the memorial, all right, but that turned out to be his parting gesture.
Just fancy.
I talked to him like a Dutch uncle afterwards, didn't I, old man?
You always did.
Funny thing, Jill, I remember Vivian asking me that evening if I was smitten over you. I told him no.
Did you?
I felt a bit daft about it, I suppose. It took me years to pin her down, Vivian.
Darling, I'm sure Vivian isn't interested in our courtship.
Oh, but I am. Very.
She didn't put me out of my misery until I went back for Commem Week, just after Dad died, that was.
I see.
Of course, then she had to go to the other extreme. No long engagements, everything in a rush, special license. Women are romantic creatures sometimes.
Either romantic or very practical. I mean, if it's not the one thing, it's the other.
Yes, exactly. More fruit, Vivian?
Thanks.
Cigarette?
Thanks. The possessive of it has no apostrophe. I have mentioned it before, Miss Barker. ITS, no apostrophe.
I'm sorry, Mr. Duncan.
Yes?
Oh, Mr. Duncan, Mrs. Duncan telephoned to remind you that it's her day for going to Oxford, and she'll be staying the night with her mother.
Oh, thank you. I really think you had better type it again.
Very well. You were beastly to me last night. I hated you.
I wasn't, and you didn't.
I did.
Bosh.
How do you know?
You always liked me?
You think a lot of yourself, don't you?
Sometimes, like most people, I vary.
I think you stink.
Well, have it your own way.
Do you know why?
Yes.
Oh, why?
Because you know that I know you hooked old Sandy good and proper.
How dare you say that?
Amazing how the simple truth throws people into convulsions. I suppose it's the novelty.
He was crazy about me. I'm very fond of him.
Your affection went up with his bank balance. You put on a sweet little girl act, and he fell for it. The rest of Oxford knew, but not Sandy.
I'll sock you in a minute.
Lately, the act's got a bit threadbare, hasn't it?
If you want to know, I get bored. I get so bored I could scream my head off.
And when you're bored, you, break out.
You mind your own business. I know what you think I am.
Oh, in that case, I can leave it unsaid.
Do you like me?
In a way.
Do you think I'm attractive?
At times. Extremely.
I adore you.
You don't, but let it pass.
Oh, I do, in a way.
That's the car.
The law has tracked us down.
The law would.
Vivian Kenway. 12 Grosvenor. I know that name.
Do you?
Playboy #1. You knocked a policeman's helmet off the night after the derby.
Well, I said I was sorry and bought him a nice new one.
Do you know anything for the Borough Handicap tomorrow afternoon?
Well, Swing Low's got a very good chance, so his trainer says.
Swing Low. Right, that's all, sir.
Thanks. Is it absolutely necessary to proceed with the charge, Sergeant?
Shall we ask ourselves that question tomorrow afternoon, sir? Good day.
Oh, dear. Wait a moment. I've got your call. I'm afraid Mr. Kenway isn't there.
Hello? Mr. Duncan speaking. You probably know the name. Mr. Kenway has been staying with me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Duncan. He hasn't been here since Colonel Kenway went abroad.
Oh, I see. Yes, it is rather. I have some good news for him. However, it can't be hurt. Thank you. Oh, by the way, you couldn't possibly give me any idea where he might be staying.
That's a tall order. I should try any West End hotel which has a dance band and an American bar. Failing that, any roadhouse near London with a license.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Goodbye. Curious woman there. Miss Barker,
Yes, Mr. Duncan?
I have a shipping order for you. I want you to call up the principal West End hotels and find out if Mr. Kenway is staying at any of them.
Very good.
Oh, I shall be dining at the club. Shan't be home till late. If you have any luck, bring me the first thing in the morning.
Yes, I will. Good night, Mr. Duncan.
Good night.
11.
Hello. Oh, good morning, Miss Barker. You have? Splendid. Where? Hotel St. George? Where's that? Oh, yes, I know it. All right. I'll drop in and see Mr. Kenway on the way to the office. I may be a few minutes late. That's right. Thank you, Miss Barker.
Mr. Kenway, first on the left, sir.
Thanks. Hello, Vivian?
Is that you, Vivian? I'm simply starving. I have...
Top of Haymarket, please.
May I borrow a lift? On your way.
If you like.
Beautiful day.
Yes.
Oh, of course, I should have remembered. I'm a notorious character in the picture papers.
I'm sure you don't want to talk about it.
Well, I think on the whole it's better than talking round it, or don't you agree?
It's really nothing to do with me. It's not for me to pass judgment.
No, well, that's that I hadn't already passed it.
Your father's been very good to me. I don't like to see him hurt.
I don't exactly revel in it myself.
Then why... Oh, there's no point in discussing it.
Well, between you and me, I never really intended to get found out.
Have you seen Duncan since...
No, you referred me to his solicitor. Poor old Sandy.
How can you say a thing like that when you've smashed everything for him?
Have I?
Of course you have.
I'm afraid you've led a very sheltered life.
I'm
sorry for anyone who's foolish enough to be fond of you. When I look at you, I can see pain and unhappiness for them. And that's about all.
I'm sure I should think of a brilliant answer to that the moment I've left you.
Good morning, Mr. Kenway.
Morning.
Wines?
No, flowers.
Yes, sir.
Ah. Yes, fine. Can they be sent off right away?
Certainly. Cash, Mr. Kenway?
Naturally.
Kenway.
Oh, hello, Sandy.
I want to talk to you.
All right.
What's happened to Jill?
I don't know.
You must know.
I haven't seen her lately, Sandy.
Mr. Kenway, you've put Miss Jennifer Colthrop, but not the address.
Oh, I'm sorry, 117 Curzon Street.
Are you going to marry Jill? That's all I want to know.
No, Sandy.
Why not?
Look, couldn't we talk about it somewhere else?
I've a right to know.
Well, to be perfectly honest, the thought never entered my head. I'm sure it never entered Jill's.
Saving that up for you.
Mr. Potter, there's two men fighting in my lift.
What?
Go out and get a policeman. Not all of you. You go. Stand back, please.
Kindly come to my office at once, and be good enough not to make any more bother.
Let's beat him.
Look out!
All right.
Yes.
Good day, gentlemen.
Double scotch.
Okay. And what have you two been up to?
My friend stopped a runaway horse.
I suppose you was riding it.
That's right.
$3, please. $3, please. Splash? Dutch treat, eh?
Some
blood on your chin.
Oh, is it? Thanks. Your collar's torn.
Is it? Oh, well. Thanks. Oh.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry, Sandy.
I had to hit you out what you said. Couldn't help it.
Well, that's the usual thing, I believe.
One has to put up a show.
I'd like to take it all back, but to be honest, I can't.
You mean about Joe? I know.
Hmm?
Suppose I knew a long time ago. Never faced up to it. When I asked questions, she'd look me straight in the eye. I couldn't believe she was lying.
I knew at Oxford. If only I'd known you were serious.
Probably wouldn't have done any good. Did you ever read that book by, what's his name, Somerset Maugham, of Human Bondage?
No, I don't think so.
About a fellow who falls in love with a girl who's utterly worthless. He knows she's unfaithful and a liar, but he just can't get her out of his mind. Funny, she came from a tea shop, too.
So what'll you do, Sandy?
Probably be fool enough to take her back, like he did. What about you?
Well, I'm thinking of settling down.
What at?
Going in for motor racing.
You call that settling down?
Well, why not? You remember old Fogroy?
Complete mad hat.
Well, he's doing rather well in that line, and he thinks if I can win a few decent races, he can get me a contract with his team. So I bought an old Grand Prix de Large from him. On credit.
Why on earth do you have to pick on a crazy career like that?
Well, I suppose I get a kick out of it.
I remember you using those very words years ago about climbing the old memorial.
Oh, that's progress for you. Would you like to see him again?
Thanks.
Oh, what's the joke?
That phrase just about sums us up, doesn't it? Same again.
Yes.
Miss? Same again.
Same again, miss.
Sixth of all Kenway. Here's 5 to 1 Cooper. Sixth of all the vote, sixth of all Kenway. 5 to 1 Upton.
How did you make out, Foggy?
There's a nasty patch of grease by the railway bridge, but you'll miss it if you make a turn very close.
Okay, all right.
Watch out for the Alpha boys. They're hot.
Everything, boy, do you good.
Noch 2 Doppelflaschen Champagner für Mr. Kenway.
Was? Noch 2 für Mr. Kenway? Himmel. What did he say? 2 magnums of champers for Kenway. Wasn't he moving out with you?
No, not till later. He's giving a farewell party.
What a party.
Just how Kenway's to give on when he's broke to the wide.
Permanent state with Viv.
Yeah. Of course, he's ruled in the advance he got on the Grand Prix.
Yeah, now there ain't going to be no Grand Prix.
Do you remember him at least? Yeah, he just ducked out in time. Had to leave his trunk in the hotel.
Did a moonlight flit. Come on, Peter, what about those drinks?
Einen Moment. Heinrich, pass auf die Bar auf, ich komme gleich wieder.
Fischer?
Wir haben sein Gepäck nicht zurückgehalten.
Auf, Herr Mitchell! Und hinaus mit euch! Alle!
Vivian.
You want any more? You pay your bill first.
Good morning, sir.
Come in. You are leaving today, Mr. Kenway.
That's right.
Would you be so kind to settle my account?
You don't have to worry, Otto. I told you I was expecting some money to be wired to my bank here. Yes, this, I am confident, is a telegram of confirmation. Yes? Your account.
All right.
Perfect. Yes, I'll give you a check right away.
Permit me.
Thank you.
Mr. Kenway, I cannot apologize too much for what happened last night.
I must admit, Otto, you were pretty high-handed.
I'm deeply sorry.
Nevertheless, I appreciate you must protect yourself from unscrupulous persons, of whom, unfortunately, there are only too many nowadays. What time does my train go?
11 o'clock.
Get my bags down right away, will you?
Certainly. Many thanks, Mr. Kenway, and 1,000 apologies.
Not at all. We all make mistakes, Otto.
You are really too kind. My fountain pen.
Hmm? Oh, I beg your pardon.
Not at all.
Hello? Manager's office, please. City water? What the devil do you think you're doing? You've locked my doors.
A slight formality, Mr. Kenway. The porter has gone to your bank with your check. He will be back in plenty of time for you to catch the train.
Your lunch, Mr. Kenway.
Your dinner, Mr. Kenway.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Well, I hope you won't let your dinner get cold, Mr. Kenway.
You know me?
Oh, yes.
Do I know you?
No.
Oh.
Won't you sit down?
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, do start. I have eaten.
You have? Oh, fine. Looks good.
Tastes good. I ordered it.
You?
Mm-hmm.
Where have we met before?
We've never met before.
I see. Are you a charitable organization?
No.
Who are you?
I'm Rake Krasner.
Are you responsible for all this?
Yes,
May I ask why?
because I'm very much in love with you.
Now, let me get this straight. You know me, but I don't know you. And you're very much in love with me, but we've never met before.
Yes. Would you like me to explain?
Well, it might be a contribution.
But first, I insist that you eat, because I know you're very hungry.
Oh, thanks very much.
Well, it isn't easy to know where to start. I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago when I was at what you call a finishing school in Switzerland. And one night, 2 of the other girls and myself, we went to the cinema to see Charles Boyer. And there was a news picture of an auto race in Ireland.
The Aster TT.
Yes, you were in it. You spoke for the microphone. Well, that was the first time I saw you and heard your voice. And I soon forgot about Charles Boyer.
Gratifying. Highly gratifying.
And when next year I could make a vacation in England, I went to see you at Brookwood.
Brooklands, I hope. Brookwood's a cemetery.
Brooklands. And there I saw you quite close. As close as I'm to you now. And then I knew.
Knew what?
That I could never love anyone else.
Oh, please go on.
Well, next year when I could do as I pleased, I went to Nice just to see you again.
And did you?
Oh, often. I found out where you were staying and the times you went in and out and the places you used to go to. Oh, I watched you many times when you didn't know, sitting outside the cafes.
What, the little cafe on the corner of the Rue Sacouf? Every morning at 11?
Yes.
Yes. Fondly gazing at a whiskey soda.
I can see you there now. And then I read that you'd come to Vienna for the Grand Prix. Oh, I was so happy. I can't tell you, because you see, I don't live so far away. And the next day already, I was here, waiting for you.
Oh, why didn't you speak to me?
Well, that wouldn't have been proper.
Oh, no, I beg your pardon, but I should have thought of that, here.
And then somebody told me that your party was already leaving. So I ran, you know, I ran here all the way. And when the manager told me that you had not gone, and that he thought he'd have to put you in jail, I was so happy I nearly cried.
Thank you very much.
Because you see, this is my chance to meet you and to help you. Do you think you could love me just a little, Mr. Kenway?
What, here and now?
Well, I wouldn't expect it at first, but perhaps after we've been married for just a little while.
I gather we've taken the altar in our stride.
Look, I'm 21 and not ugly. I've had no lovers and a good education. I'm a very fine cook, and my father is well off.
And you love me.
Oh, I do. I do.
Now, supposing we skip the fairy tales and come to the point.
What?
To begin with, there is no Rue Sacouf in Nice, and therefore no cafe and no whiskey soda.
You've deceived me. You weren't telling the truth.
I know the genius of your sex for emerging from all situations as the injured party, but may I remind you, you've just unloaded the biggest pack of lies I've ever heard in my life. Oh, Lord. Okay. Can I get you anything? Better now? Now, what is all this about?
I can tell you in 2 sentences. The Nazis are in Vienna. I'm half Jewish.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My father saw it coming long ago and begged me to leave, and now it's too late. Unless... Well, never mind now.
Oh, unless you can acquire British nationality.
Yes. My father had the idea. He found out that you were left stranded here, and he said it was a chance from heaven, and he implored me.
Oh, yes, I see. I am sorry.
Well, you couldn't have known. I said to myself, the English are not like us. When they make a marriage for money, they must persuade themselves that it's a great romance. There's a word for that in English.
Humbug.
That's it. That's the word. But I didn't deceive you, so we say goodbye.
No, wait a minute. You know, a less romantic approach might have proved more fruitful.
Please.
Well, no one responds quicker to a sound business proposition than we British humbugs. The point is it sound? Now, let's go into it. Have some more wine.
You mean you are willing?
Oh, wait a minute. You must have had some plan. What?
We pay what you owe here and all your debts in Vienna.
And, of course, all traveling expenses.
Naturally.
Sounds quite promising. Yes, but unfortunately...
What?
Well, unfortunately, while I'm anxious to get back to England, my creditors there are even more anxious to see me.
You mean you have debts there, too?
One in particular, an unreasonable type.
Do you owe him much money?
2,000, 3,000?
Oh. My father will pay it. I know he will.
You wouldn't be able to take the money out of the country.
Oh, he has funds in Paris and London. His agents will see to it.
Sure?
Yes.
Splendid. Yes, but honest to you, you don't know how scared I am of being in the least tied down.
Well, once we get to London, we need never meet again.
Good, yes. Suppose you fell in love with me.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Reassuring, if not flattering.
Well?
No, I couldn't. Okay, it's a deal.
I promise I'll be no trouble.
You're a funny little thing.
I think you said this was a business proposition, Mr. Kenway.
I was merely going to put a stamp on the marriage contract. However, it'll have to be a gentleman's agreement. Well, here's to the firm of Kenway and... what did you say your name was? Comfortable here?
Well, thank you. It's a lovely suite. Must be very expensive.
Well, you'd like something in the style you're used to, you know. Can I get you anything?
Oh, I don't think so.
Well, then I'd better be pushing off. Oh, goodbye. Nice to have known you. I'll be in touch with you about the divorce.
Oh, Mr. Schreiber has been instructed to pay what you owe to the person you named.
Yes, so you said. Thanks very much. Very satisfactory. Good luck.
I suppose you have a dinner appointment.
Nothing in particular. Why?
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking it's rather silly to go so quickly when... Well, when it's 7:30 and nearly time for dinner.
Well, I was merely observing my side of the agreement.
Of course. I would be very angry if you weren't. I just wanted to ask you what kind of work I could find in London.
Oh, that's different, of course.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, I'm sure a discussion over the dinner table is quite within the meaning of the contract.
Certainly.
In that case, with your permission, I'll order dinner.
Do.
Room service?
Mr. Kenway, I'll put your bags in the bedroom as you asked. Good night, sir.
Room service? Will you send a waiter up to 52? Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Mayfair 5504, please.
Anything else, sir?
No, that's all, thank you. Is that you, Foggy? Yes, it's me. I'm back. Staying at the Grand. No, cash. Now, listen, old boy. Take a firm hold on something. Well, hold that. You're going to get that money I owe you. In fact, you're going to get 3 times as much. No, of course I'm not tight. Yeah, 3,000 quid. No, not interest, you fool. 2 of it's mine. It'll come by check from Schreiber's Bank. Now, hang on to the balance and bring it round on Friday. It should be through by then. And Foggy, ring before you come. What? Well, as a matter of fact, on second thought, I don't think I'll have the roses. Well, hold them too. And, I'll come round and choose the orchids myself.
Orchids? You shouldn't.
You weren't supposed to hear that.
Vivian, how long are we going to stay in this hotel?
Oh, a week or 2, I suppose. Why?
Oh, we're spending so much money.
Oh, this is our honeymoon.
Well, it's true. You don't owe anything, but you haven't got any money.
Oh, I'll get myself fixed up in a day or 2. Well, what's the matter?
Well, I can't help feeling worried.
All right, darling, we'll go carefully. Now, come on, put your hat on and we'll go and celebrate.
Celebrate what?
Our decision to go carefully. Come on.
But I...
Come in, Foggy. Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm so sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
You see your mistake.
I do indeed.
Could I see you a moment?
Yes, of course. Come in. Quite a time since we met. You look just the same, though.
So do you. I expect you've guessed why I've called.
Well, show me once more the error of my ways.
I'm not likely to do that again.
Splendid. Have a drink.
I haven't time. Why haven't you been home?
I haven't noticed any desire on the part of the family for a get-together. A more sensitive man might have found the response to his letters discouraging in the extreme.
Things seem to have improved since then.
Considerably. How's Dad? Is he well?
He knows you're back, and he's worrying about not hearing from you. You might have called.
Yes, but it wasn't really convenient.
I knew there must be some powerful reason.
To tell the truth, I'm in rather a delicate situation just now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, hello, darling. Come in.
I didn't know you had a visitor.
Where are you off to?
To the hairdresser.
Oh, this is Miss Calthrop, my father's secretary. Mrs. Kenway.
How do you do?
Will you be long?
Not very. Well, goodbye, Miss Carlsford.
Goodbye.
Well, perhaps I should explain.
I hardly think it's necessary, in spite of my having led so sheltered a life. I'm sorry I intruded.
Not in the least.
I only thought you ought to know your father's leaving this afternoon for Cornwall.
Aunt Angela?
Yes.
Dear Auntie. You going too?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Vivian.
Hello, Foggy. Just hold the line a minute, old boy, will you?
It's all right. I have to go now anyway.
Well, give Dad my love and tell him I'll try and get down.
I will. Goodbye.
Oh, Jenny. By the way, she really is Mrs. Kenway.
What?
The marriage lines are nicely printed in 2 languages.
Oh. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I say, Vivian, you still there?
I'm sorry, old boy, yes. Where the devil are you?
Downstairs, old man.
Come up, you fool. Come in, old boy. Come in, Foggy.
Fantastic girl just gone down the lift. Been here?
Yes.
Pity.
Get that check from Schreiber's Bank, all right?
Yes, oh boy, thanks very much.
That's a relief. I can do with mine.
It's a roundabout way of collecting cash, isn't it?
But effective.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, a pleasant surprise for me, I must say. Things are looking up, what?
Well, they are now.
Up the Navy.
Schreiber's Bank.
Suppose you couldn't let me have a couple of thousand.
What for?
Flutter in the city. Combined manganese. Red hot tip. I bought some on a shilling margin the other day. My fellow said they're bound to go up.
Have they?
Oh, Smithwick dropped a bob.
Well, you lost your money, you twerp.
Well, it's a temporary setback. They'll go up again.
No good unless you cover it.
Well, that's precisely why I'm after that 2,000. It's a cert this time, Vivian.
Can't be done. Absolute accounting, I let you keep it if I could.
Keep it?
Yeah.
I think there's some misunderstanding, old boy. I was after another 2,000.
Another what?
Well, I've just explained. We've lost the first.
We?
Well, I thought I'd made that quite clear.
You used my money?
Well, I put up a third, you know.
You crook.
Well, I must say, I thought you'd take it in a more sporting spirit.
Sporting spirit? It's all I depend on. When can you pay me back?
Within 6 months, I think.
6 months? What's the good of that?
I'd like to remind you, you owed me 1,000 for nearly a couple of years. I've only owed you 2,000 for 24 hours.
I borrowed it, not embezzled it.
Oh, this is putting a great strain on my forbearance.
God, 2,000 quid down the drain. Worked the whole thing out and you let me down. I might just as well never have invented the debt. What I'm going to do now, heaven knows.
Well, that certainly taught me a lesson. I shall never extend a helping hand to a friend again.
Ricky.
Oh, the fellow's an eccentric.
Ricky.
Don't come near me.
Now listen.
You never owed that money.
I owed part of it.
I heard what you said. It was a trick to get more.
Now be reasonable. Was there anything to stop me asking you a sum down, quite openly in the first place? What's the difference?
Only one of good faith. But with you, that's not important.
Can't you see I'm a victim of circumstances just as much as you are?
That was my father's money. It was almost all he had in the world.
What?
When you told me your price, I was afraid at first it was more than he could pay. That was just enough.
I see. You lied.
Well, I thought that if I told you the truth in Vienna, you'd have sent me away.
I suppose you haven't got any money either.
Little or nothing.
Not a cent between us. I'm back just where I was in Vienna, and another 2 of us to lock up. This is what comes of being over-scrupulous. It's the last straw.
Oh, Porter, would you send up somebody for the luggage, please? And get me a taxi.
I might point out it's unlikely you'll be able to leave the hotel with your bags until some arrangements have been made about the bill.
I've paid it.
When?
This morning.
How?
I sold my ring. Well, thank you, Porter.
Ricky,
Yes?
you make me feel ashamed.
Do I?
Yes, you're quite right to go. I asked for it. I'm sorry.
Oh, Viv. Oh.
Ricky. No, don't. I do things without thinking. I'm a selfish hog.
Only sometimes.
You're a funny little thing. Did I ever tell you that?
Funny peculiar? Or funny ha-ha?
Bit of each.
Well, now, what are we going to do?
I can't think.
Well, we can't stay here.
How right you are. Cornwall.
Please?
Father's just gone down there. We'll go and stay with him for a bit.
Oh, I've always wanted to meet him. But we've forgotten something.
What?
Well, how are we going to pay our fares to Cornwall?
That's a point.
Oh, dear.
I know.
What?
We'll hire a car from Godfrey Davis. On credit.
Rather cramped for space, I'm afraid, but, well, I hope you'll find it comfortable.
I expect Mrs. Kenway would like to see her room.
Oh, yes, a good idea. You take her up, my dear.
Thank you.
Tea will be ready in a few minutes.
Thank
What did you say the name was?
Ricky.
Ricky? Short for something?
No, I don't think so, Dad.
Foreign, I gather.
Austrian.
I took it for granted you'd marry a British girl somehow.
Well, those ideas are pretty old-fashioned today, Dad.
Oh, is it old-fashioned to expect to meet the lady before one's son gets married?
Well, it all happened a bit suddenly.
You didn't have to marry her?
Oh, no. Nothing like that.
Yes. I suppose one must be grateful for small mercies. How did you meet her?
Oh, Vienna, you know.
I see. Are you in love with her?
Why does one usually marry, Dad?
I don't know. I only married once. I never looked at anyone else. But they have different ideas on the continent.
Well, marriages for love, not entirely unknown outside the British Isles.
Possibly. We don't know each other very well, do we, my boy?
No, I suppose not. Awfully nice to see you again, though, Dad.
Well, now you're here, I hope you'll stay for a while.
I'd like to.
Good. And let's hope that...
Oh, Vivian, this is such a pretty little house.
I'm glad you like it.
I think in England you have the most wonderful houses in the world.
It's very nice of you to say so.
I suppose it's very old.
Not enormously, 1660 or thereabouts. Would you like me to show you around?
Oh, I should love you to.
Well, we've just time before tea. And come along, Ricky.
Coming, Vivian?
Sure.
She's very sweet, Vivian.
Isn't she?
She deserves a better fate.
I've no intention of being her fate. More consideration for the girl.
You're married, aren't you?
Yes.
Then why speak as
I really can't go on having this conversation indefinitely.
Vivian, what's behind all this exactly?
You mind your own confounded business.
You're your own worst enemy, aren't you? You don't give yourself a chance.
Why did you say that?
I haven't any idea.
Extraordinary.
I suppose I was as much to blame as Vivian for what happened afterwards. Looking back, I don't know how I could have been so blind. Ricky, neither of us thought of her. Neither of us put ourselves in her place. Romantic, sensitive, pushed more and more into the background, and loving Vivian with all her heart. No, Vivian. has happened?
Oh, it just happened, that's all.
Well, it's got to stop.
Listen, Jenny.
There's no future in it, Vivian. Certainly not for me. I know that because I know you. You must leave here at once and take Ricky with you. Terribly unfair to her. She mustn't ever hear of it.
Vivian, quickly, Vivian! Vivian! Vivian!
What is it? What's the matter?
It's Ricky. Help me with the boat. She's swimming out to sea.
I shouted to her, but she just kept on swimming. She must be a long way out now.
Let's get back. Ricky.
Why did you come after me? I didn't want it.
Vivian, how is she?
Ricky. No, please, Ricky.
Don't touch me. I couldn't bear you to touch me.
You're quite safe now, my dear. Ricky.
I was thinking what I said in Vienna. I said to fall in love with him, the idea was ridiculous. And I laughed. I actually laughed.
You'd better take her upstairs and get her things off.
You, Jennifer, do you know what kind of a man it is you're in love with?
My dear, please.
And you, what a son you have. He married me to get me away from Vienna when the Nazis came. Oh, I know I was responsible. I begged him. He gave me his name, and my father paid his debts. If only it could have stopped at that. But I never knew that he would live with me just because it amused him. I told myself that it was something more, that what had started one way would end another. But all the time he was cheating and spending. Spending until I had to sell my ring to pay what we owed. But still, I was happy when we came down here. You were so sweet to me, and so was Vivian to begin with. And then I saw that he was bored when I was with him, and that when he was without me, he never thought of me at all. But I said to myself, perhaps he'll change. And then today I found out that all the time, it was you he loved. And I thought I'd get out of it all. And I wish I had. I wish I had.
You seem determined to ruin your life. Well, that's your business. But I don't care what circumstances